Hey guys, what's going on? Jeb here, and in today's video, we're going to be doing a little bit of technical analysis on Bitcoin and the cryptocurrency markets, and more specifically, we're going to be discussing this rally that Bitcoin has been forming here over the last couple of weeks, because I see a lot of problems with this rally, and I want to discuss the strength of the bulls and the bears in this case, and what Bitcoin is going to do with this rally, because there's a lot of things missing from this rally. There's a lot of technicals that are not showing what they're supposed to be showing for this rally. All in all, this is not a very strong rally, and I want to show you guys exactly why and what this might mean for Bitcoin coming over the next couple of days, because I'm concerned that we may be about to see some kind of bearish breakout coming on Bitcoin in the next couple of days. We're going to be discussing all of that and more in today's video, guys. I think we have a good one lined up for you, so if you enjoyed today's video, definitely consider dropping a like, hitting the subscribe button, and smashing the notification bell, guys. But without much further ado, I will say one more thing, then we'll actually get into it. Yesterday, I did absolutely just destroy my voice, so if I sound different, that is why. Believe me, it is a little bit harder to talk, so if I stumble over my words, I do apologize. I should be fine tomorrow. Anyway, guys, now without much further ado, let's go ahead and get right into it. Bitcoin is currently trading around $3,960 or so, or $68 or so, and as I'll be talking about later on in the video, we very well may be about to see a bearish breakout coming on Bitcoin in just the next couple of minutes. It may actually happen during the recording of this video. Anyway, the first thing that I want to talk about has to do with momentum on Bitcoin, because over the last couple of weeks, ever since about the beginning of March, back over here at the end of February, we've been generally trending towards the upside. Now, of course, we've actually been trending towards the upside since the beginning of February when we broke bullish over here, but we did have a little bit of bearishness in the middle. In general, we've been trending to the upside, but especially in the last month, March, we have been trending to the upside. But there are a lot of problems with this uptrend that I want to point out to you guys, because it's very important that we understand how strong this uptrend is, so that we can then use that information to predict what Bitcoin will do next. And of course, that's a large part of what technical analysis is predicting the market so that we can then use those predictions to our benefit. And if we go back into 2018 and we start looking at these rallies that Bitcoin was seeing back in the same type of market that we're in right now, a bear market / accumulation phase, not looking at bull market rallies, we would see that over here at the beginning of the year, especially when Bitcoin would go into a rally, it would be a major rally. Back over here, Bitcoin rallied almost 100% in the span of just a couple of weeks. Bitcoin rallied very strongly. Over here, Bitcoin rallied, what, about 60%. Now, of course, the rallies continue to get smaller and smaller and smaller. Bitcoin rallied about 40% over here, but a 40% rally is nothing to scoff at. That's still a very major rally. If we look at Bitcoin right now, though, Bitcoin has rallied 10% in almost a month. Guys, this is actually a very weak rally. Now, I know that it looks like Bitcoin's moving to the upside here, but if we compare this movement to just about any other movement that Bitcoin has made, even in recent memory, like this one right here, where Bitcoin moved 40%, this is a very weak rally, and it's not showing a lot of strength coming from the bulls. And of course, part of that might be because the bulls exhausted themselves over here in this rally, and then fell over, and then the bulls just simply didn't have the strength required to continue moving to the upside. That's a very strong argument, and one that I will give to you guys, but you also have to keep in mind that the market moves the way the market moves, and we have to understand what the market is doing. Even if there's a good reason why the market is doing that, we have to understand what the market is doing as well as the why. So we understand the why, but what is the what? Bitcoin is not moving up with a lot of strength right now. Bitcoin is in an ascending wedge, which is a bearish pattern. And one more thing, Bitcoin's volume has actually been declining here over the last couple of months. Bitcoin's volume has been very high, don't get me wrong, especially considering what Bitcoin's volume was looking like over here towards the end of 2018. But in the last couple of months, Bitcoin's volume, as we can see, has been generally tapering off. Now, like I said, still very high volume, but Bitcoin's Bitcoin volume has been moving to the downside. And you have to keep that in mind, because you typically want to see a lot of volume during a rally, even if it is moving to the downside. If you look down here on the 4-hourly charts, a lot of those rallies over there had a ton of volume with them, especially towards the end, because a lot of times what you see in bull and bear markets and rallies and downtrends is that you see that market volume will continue to rise and rise and rise as the rally continues. It's very obvious and very apparent seeing this kind of thing in 2017. Bitcoin's volume was rising with the price action, and you do expect that to happen. That's why whenever volume starts increasing, I tell you guys about it, because it's important. It's an important technical to understand when you're looking at these kind of things, because increased volume typically means either, well, wash trading for one, but it normally also means that there is a lot more volatility in the market, and there's a lot more potential for the bulls or the bears to have strength. We're going to talk about the strength of the bulls and the bears in a second, but volume is almost like the pool of energy that the bulls and the bears draw from, and whichever side draws more is the stronger side. That's a good way to look at that. The more volume you have, the more opportunity there is for the stronger side, either the bulls or the bears, to draw from that and use that volume to their advantage, because you can move the market a lot quicker when you have a lot more money in the market. That's just the way that is, so long as you don't have a ton of support or resistance around you. Now, with all that said, what does this mean for Bitcoin on the shorter term time frames? Obviously, Bitcoin is not looking very strong right now. It is moving to the upside, but this rally is very weak. And that's why I said earlier it's a quote-unquote rally. It's not really much of a rally. It's kind of a minor uptrend. What would you guys even want to call this? It is an uptrend, but it's not a very strong one. And it is kind of concerning, because even though Bitcoin's moving to the upside here, Bitcoin has not managed to get above $4,000 and stay above it. We've come up there and tested it oftentimes. We've many times. Bitcoin has tested $4,000 time and time again. Over here, here we tested it. Over here we broke through it and tested it. Right over here we tried to get through it. We haven't been able to stay above it though. So even though Bitcoin has been rallying, it's only rallying because we are in a downtrend. And that's likely going to be continuing soon. I think Bitcoin's going to be turning around here, which is what we're going to be talking about in today's video. Even in the last 48 hours, Bitcoin has tried to get through $4,000, for example. Right here, Bitcoin tried to get through through $4,000. I wish Bitcoin was at $40,000, through $4,000, and did not manage it. And as we can see here, when Bitcoin entered this consolidation pattern right here, Bitcoin broke bullish, and then broke bearish, and then broke bullish kind of again. It got support. It did one of these motions. You guys have probably seen a market do this before. If there's a name for this kind of pattern, I don't know it. Tell me in the comment section. But you see this happen a lot with consolidation pattern breakouts. You'll see a bullish breakout, a bearish breakout, and then it returns to right where it was trading before either of the breakouts happen, and nullify the uptrend of support and downtrend of resistance. But that is a little bit off topic. Where we see Bitcoin now is trading down here on this uptrend of support that Bitcoin has been following here over the last couple of weeks, ever since about the beginning of March. Right over here, we see our pivot point, and then our set points right over here to set the degree of the trend line. And over the last couple of days, we've been testing support on this quite a lot. We came down here and tested it once, and we're now testing it again. And guys, I would be very surprised if Bitcoin did not break bearish here. As you can see, this is the minute chart. Now, this is a little bit outdated for you guys. All the other charts, of course, are not when you're seeing this. But the minute chart here is showing that Bitcoin has been trying to break this level of support several times. And there is a pretty good chance, in my opinion, that Bitcoin breaks this and starts moving to the downside. Because if we zoom out back to the 4-hourly, I want to show you something that is just very telling on Bitcoin. You can basically boil all of this history, this market history from the beginning of 2019 down to two trend lines. There's a downtrend, and then there's this uptrend. Bitcoin has been moving around in here. Can you see that all right? Let me change the colors on these. Bitcoin has been moving to the downside there, and then started moving to the upside here. That's basically the way you can boil this market down. Bitcoin was bearish, then Bitcoin was bullish. Bitcoin's been bearish, and then bullish. And what do you think is next? Well, Bitcoin probably is going to turn bearish again. Bitcoin's probably going to start moving down again, because Bitcoin is sitting above this uptrend of support, but it's also sitting above a crucial downtrend of resistance right here. And I know the chart's getting a little bit confusing, so we'll go ahead and move on over here. Bitcoin is sitting above an uptrend of support, and these colors are not right, of course, but Bitcoin is sitting above an uptrend of support and a downtrend of resistance. We'll go ahead and change that really quickly. Bitcoin sitting above the uptrend of support, down below the downtrend of resistance. And what you see in one of these longer term consolidation patterns is that the market tends to bounce around in them. And right now, Bitcoin had been moving down, and it started moving up. And now it's time for Bitcoin to start moving down again. Bitcoin's come up here and tested this downtrend of resistance again in the last couple of days, and we're probably going to be moving down from here. So as I've talked about in previous videos, I expect that in the next couple of days, Bitcoin is going to be breaking bearish here and moving to the downside. And it very well may be happening in the next couple of hours. As you can see, we're sitting right here on this uptrend of support right now. And just because it looks like we've broken that doesn't necessarily mean we have. Of course, these downtrends can be drawn a little bit differently. We can accommodate just a little bit, but Bitcoin is more than likely going to be breaking this. And that's the last thing I want to talk about. It has to do with the strength of the bulls and the bears and the breakout here. Because like I kind of mentioned earlier, the way that you can analyze a market, a lot of times analyzing something that is complicated like a market is much easier if you use an analogy that we're all a little bit more familiar with. And the way that I like to look at markets is a war. It's always a war. It's a never-ending war between two factions, and two factions mainly. There are other factions. The bulls and the bears. The bulls are, I don't know, the Romans, and the bears are the Gauls. Hopefully that's the order because the Romans won. But the bulls and the bears are two different factions, and they have different things going for them. They have their supply trains, like I said. They have their troops. They have their armor, they have their air support, they have their convoys, whatever. They have all their different resources that are helping them. And whichever side is more well supplied and more well equipped and larger in number are probably going to be the ones that win. And the same thing is true for the Bulls and the Bears. Whichever faction, the Bulls or the Bears, are stronger at the time being, more than likely that faction is going to be the one that prevails. There are some exceptions, of course. Perhaps you see that Bitcoin runs into the very end of a consolidation pattern right here, and it comes down to random chance whether or not the Bulls or the Bears win. You get right here, and then a bear whale, or a bull whale in this case, breaks bullish. Sometimes that kind of thing happens, but normally it's a pretty good analogy to look at the market as a war between the Bulls and the Bears. And right now, guys, I'll tell you exactly what I think's happened over the last month or so. The Bulls have been dragging their feet. They've been on forced march for the last 500 miles trying to push Bitcoin through some kind of crazy swamp with a bunch of alligators and crocodiles and I don't know, ospreys, killer ospreys are trying to attack us and everything. It's not been a good time for the Bulls, but the Bulls are still managing to push through because maybe they're slightly better equipped than the Bears, but the Bears have been ambushing them and just trying to destroy them all the way through. And eventually the Bears are going to win. Eventually the Bears are going to win one decisive battle, this uptrend of support being broken. Eventually they're going to win a battle and they're going to get the initiative back, and they're going to start pushing Bitcoin down. And then in a couple of weeks or a month or so, Bitcoin's going to do the same thing, and then the initiative is going to go back in the favor of Bitcoin. But Bitcoin has been moving to the upside for too long here, and normally when you see a market move to the upside for a long time, especially when it's not a very strong move, as this one is not. This is not a very strong move. It's a move, but it's not a very strong move, especially compared to what Bitcoin has seen before. Typically, you're going to see that control is going to be turned over from either the Bulls to the Bears or the Bears to the Bulls, vice versa, depending on which direction the market was moving originally. And so far, Bitcoin's been moving to the upside, and so far, I would say, based on my technical analysis, I know we haven't looked at a lot of indicators today, but we've looked at a lot of indicators over the last several videos to discuss why this would be the case. I mean, we look at the weekly stochastic RSI for one. Over here on the weekly stochastic RSI, it is very, very overbought, excuse me, and Bitcoin stochastic RSI will likely be crashing. We see several different MACDs on different time frames are bearish. Bitcoin is looking at a bearish MACD cross on the daily chart. 4-hourly chart isn't looking great either. We're bearish right now. If we start looking at the different Heikin-Ashi candlesticks, we're not looking very good. RSI is moving to the downside. We have bearish divergence right here. Guys, I can go into technicals all day long, so don't say this isn't based on technicals. I just didn't think it was necessary because we can analyze the strength of the Bulls and the Bears here based on the way the market is moving. There are plenty of technicals to back this up that Bitcoin is probably going to be seeing some kind of bearish move over the next couple of days. Now, let me go ahead and talk scenarios and we'll wrap the video up. Here on the hourly chart, let me show you exactly what I think is going to happen. I give it a pretty decent chance that Bitcoin breaks bearish here in the next 4 hours. That means that Bitcoin breaks bearish before this video goes live. There's a decent chance that that happens. I said pretty good chance earlier, but if I were to be specific, I'd probably give it maybe a 20 to 30% chance that that happens before this video is even done uploading. If that doesn't happen, there's a decent chance also that Bitcoin bounces here and moves to the upside a little bit with decreasing volatility, with decreasing steam, moves up at the very most to this downtrend of resistance. I'll show you that one in a second. Rejects off of it and then crashes in a couple of days on the 25th, 26th, or 27th of March, something like that. Those are the two main scenarios that I give Bitcoin, and like I said, there's a pretty decent chance that Bitcoin has broken bearish by the time this video goes out, and if it has, then I will be discussing price targets and technical analysis on that in tomorrow's video. This video is already getting a little bit long, but if Bitcoin does bounce there, then this downtrending level of resistance is a likely level that Bitcoin will go up and test before it breaks bearish once more. That is, of course, the longer-term downtrend that Bitcoin has been under over the last couple of months. I do think that Bitcoin will come up there and test that one more time, wherever exactly it may be, and come up there and test it and break bearish, because this level of support right here and this level of resistance, the downtrending one right there, kind of form this consolidation pattern right here that Bitcoin will probably break out of if it bounces and moves to the upside. No matter what happens, guys, I give it probably a 70% chance that Bitcoin breaks bearish in the next week. Normally, I don't make predictions that confidently because a lot of times you can see some things come into the market that you don't foresee. Sometimes the market will do something that you don't expect. Maybe you're missing a technical sometimes. So you want to be careful with your predictions, and you always want to be ready for whether the market breaks bullish or bearish. You want to be ready for whatever the market can throw at you, because even if all of your technicals and all of your analysis, all your fundamental and technical analysis, everything, even you have the whales on your side, even if all of that is on your side, the federal government's on your side, I don't care if everything is on your side, sometimes the market will just pull you a curveball, will throw you a curveball, and completely confuse you. So you never want to say you're 100% certain on something, but as you continue to go up towards 100% or 0% certainty, then you continue to get much more certain. And I'd give it about a 65 to 70% chance that Bitcoin breaks bearish here in the next week, based on all of the technicals that I'm seeing, based on all of the market structure that I'm seeing, all the analysis that I'm seeing, and my gut feeling that I've built over the last 2 years of doing technical analysis on Bitcoin every single day. So tell me in the comment section down below, guys, what you think Bitcoin is going to do here. You think Bitcoin is going to bounce and move to the upside? Do you think Bitcoin is just now starting a rally and is going to be moving way up here to the upside? Or do you think Bitcoin is going to break bearish in the next week, as I do? I'm interested, as always, to hear your opinions in the comment section down below. And guys, if you want to learn anything more about the technical analysis, if you want to learn more about the concepts I've discussed in this video, everything I discussed in this video, I go into extreme detail. I go into extreme detail in the Cryptocurrency Technical Analysis Academy. There's a link to that in the description down below. We have literally hundreds of people in CT2A, and they are absolutely loving it. I get nothing but compliments for it, guys, and that's not me boasting. That's not me trying to sell it to you. I'm just dead serious. I get people emailing me, talking, discussing things, like asking me to review the technical analysis, asking my opinions on stuff, getting help from me, and telling me how much they love the course. We've had people join the Discord server and say, hey, I just bought the course and I'm happy with it. We've had people in the comment section say, hey, I love the course. I joined a couple months ago and I've gotten a lot of value out of it. And so far, even though there's a very fair refund policy, we've never had a single refund, guys. I'll give you a refund, no questions asked, and we still haven't had one person out of hundreds take me up on that. And I really do appreciate that, guys, because even though that's there, you guys have decided not to do that, so that is very much appreciated. But anyway, guys, if you want to be that person, feel free to buy the course, send me an email, and you can be the first one to do that. But that's going to do it for today's video, guys. I do want to thank each and every single one of you for watching, as always, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.